Hey everyone, welcome to Retro Magazines and Patterns. I'm Sophie, and today we're going to look at this Itty Bitty Knit Kit that I picked up from Five Below recently. I was really interested in trying one of these out. I've seen these online a bit, and for $5, I thought this had the possibility of being a really cute gift for beginners. It does say it's an easy project, so I thought we could go ahead, make this together, and just see exactly how this kit works out. If you're interested in picking any of these up, they did have other Christmas ones available. I'll pop up the ones I can find up there, but it's really cute. I think that you guys will enjoy this as much as I did. So this comes with everything that you need. It's got the stuffing, the needles, the yarn, and all the little stick-on felt pieces. So it really is a cute kit. Even, before starting it, see how it all, works with the pattern and all. The kit itself is really cute. I think that the $5 price point is a pretty good price point for what you get in here. So this is the little booklet. It has the instructions, the pattern in it, but it also gives you all the step-by-step instructions. It does let you know to keep your stitching loose. I did not keep mine super loose, which you'll see the end result. It's fine. It looks really cute, but I did like how they had all the instructions in here, from casting on to, doing the knit stitch to casting off. And not only do they include the instructions in here for all of those basic steps, but they do it for lefties and righties, which I thought was really cool too. You don't always see that. So that's a really neat little addition, I think, to this kit. Also, they do have videos online that will show you how to do these steps, how to cast on, how to knit, all of that. I went on their website to kind of check out what the videos were like. And it was a really cute little website. I thought they had some really great craft projects, and the videos were really nice and helpful. So if the pictures aren't going to do it for you, they do have videos on there as well. But as you can see, they do have pretty detailed instructions here. They do talk about the knit stitch. They do not go over the purl stitch, because this is just simply knit in garter stitch. So, and I actually like that. I think that allows for, it's easier to cover up any mistakes, or it makes the stitching look a little bit more uniform, especially if you're starting out. So, but this is what the instructions look like. So you're not getting just, plain written instructions. There's definitely some images that will help you to see what it's supposed to look like. So the rest of the kit is really cute. It comes packaged. You have the yarn is in the box, and then everything else is wrapped up in this nice little paper bag. I like that. Make sure everything stays in there so you're not losing any of the small things. We have the knitting needles here. There is the stuffing, which is nice and soft. It's a decent amount of stuffing. I definitely didn't use all of it. It comes with a plastic embroidery needle, all the little felt pieces that you need, and those do stick directly on. And that's really all that you need. As far as the needles are concerned, I did actually go ahead and measure those with my knitting needle gauge measuring stick thing, and they are a size 10 knitting needle. So that is the size that they gave us. The yarn is fine. It's just a cheap acrylic yarn. I didn't really have any problems with it. It was a little splitty, but again, for a beginner's kit, it was nice. The knitting needles, like I said, short plastic, lightweight, not super pointy. I wasn't sure that I was going to enjoy these, but I actually really did end up enjoying these knitting needles. So they're not as bad as you might think. I think wood may have been better, but again, a budget-friendly kit. They were fine to work with. So let's go ahead and get our yarn, and I was actually surprisingly able to find the center pole very quickly and easily, so I was happy about that. It does say you might want to wind your yarn before you start. I didn't heed that warning, and I just pulled from the center. That was fine. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and cast on. The first piece is 10 stitches cast on, and we are just simply going to be knitting I think it was a 2.5 inch by 8 inch long rectangle. Here I am just making my slip knot. So again, they have some detailed videos on their website if mine aren't helpful enough. But I have had a few people ask that I show how I make some of my stitches when I'm working these projects. So I'm just going to show you how I do my cast on here. You want to make sure that the yarn that is in the front, or the yarn around your thumb, is the tail. And the back piece, the piece around your fingers, is the working yarn, which is coming off of the actual ball. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my first cast on stitch. And I'm trying to do it as slow as I can so you can really get a good idea, because it becomes muscle memory when you're used to casting on, but it can be a little tricky at first. But now you can see we have 3 stitches on the needle. We're going to get a total of 10 on there, and then we're just going to simply be working the garter stitch. So this is going to be every row is knit, and it's going to be as simple as that. We're going to just do a rectangle, so it won't be super complicated. So it'll be a nice, easy first piece for beginners. Okay, so we are all cast on. Now we're going to go ahead and start with our knit stitch. So the knit stitch is really easy. What you're going to do is you're going to take your needle, insert it into the first stitch so that both needles are in that same loop. Wrap the working yarn around the back needle, and you're going to dip the needle down underneath and kind of scoop that stitch right off like that. And you'll see it moves over to the working needle. So we're just going to do that same movement across all of these stitches, and we're going to be doing this over and over and over again until we have a rectangle that measures approximately 8 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. Now with this particular kit, they don't really go over gauge because, again, this is a beginner's project. I did find that I generally knit pretty tight. I tried to keep it fairly loose, and a garter stitch is going to be pretty loose, but mine actually did come out a bit smaller than the dimensions that they gave. Mine ended up being about 2 inches by about 6 inches long, I believe it was, and I actually ended up adding 10 rows to the suggested 40. So I actually did 50 rows of the garter stitch on this piece to get the end result of the main body rectangle. Okay, so now we're done with the main body, and we're going to move on to the arm and leg pieces. These are simple, 4 simple rectangles, all knit in the same length, same size. Okay, so now that we have all of our pieces knitted up, we are done with the actual knitting portion, and now it's on to construction. So we are going to fold this rectangular piece in half, and we're essentially just going to be stitching the shape of the body into this piece. Now, there isn't a whole lot of specific instruction. You're just going to kind of be eyeballing it. That's what I did. I just tried to follow that dotted line. There are, a numerous amount of ways that you could do this if you wanted to be more specific. You could certainly maybe use a scrap piece of contrasting color yarn and kind of make an outline, follow that. You could use some stitch markers, whatever it is that's going to be easiest for you. But honestly, I just kind of eyeballed it myself, and I thought he turned out just fine. It's, whatever is easiest or most fun for you, because this is just supposed to be fun. And definitely not supposed to cause any anxiety that you're doing it perfectly. So I'll just show you how I went ahead and stitched it in. You do definitely want to make sure that you're leaving a big enough space in the opening, not just for the stuffing itself, but you will have to turn this piece inside out. So just keep that in mind when you start it at the bottom. Leave most of that unstitched. Okay, he is all stitched up. I'm just tying it off here. I'm gonna snip the ends so that they hide neatly inside, and we will turn him right side out. Okay, so remember I said to keep the opening pretty large. That way he would not be too difficult to turn right side out. So you can see it does take a little manipulation. Don't worry, you're not going to break him. Just be a little gentle. But as you're turning him right side out, you can go ahead and just make sure to push out the corners and kind of shape him. You can see my guy kind of looks a little bit like a Nutter Butter cookie, which is great because that's a form of cookie, just like gingerbread man. So we're going to go ahead and stuff him. Now, I went ahead and I overstuffed a little bit at first. You'll see me kind of pull some of that back out because of the garter stitch and the loose stitching. You don't want to put too much stuffing in, or you're gonna be able to see that through the stitches. So I did pull some of this back out again and kind of flatten him out, but you know, just stuff it the way that you like it and do some shaping as you're stuffing, because that will really help give him that gingerbread man shape. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and sew up the base. Just make sure it closed up nice and neat and none of the stuffing is going to come out. I did try to do a mattress stitch here, but the stitches were a little hard for me to see. So really just close it up. It isn't really going to matter much either way. You're not going to see it. The legs are going to get sewn on at this point too. So the name of the game is to just get this closed up, you know, so nothing's coming out. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and poke in the little knot that I had from closing him up. So I'm not really hurting him. I swear, he's safe. And there he is. Looks like a cute little Nutter Butter cookie right now. We're going to go ahead and add the arms and legs now. So he will soon look like a gingerbread cookie. So we're going to take these little, not triangles, rectangle pieces. We're going to fold them in half, just like the diagram shows us, and we are going to stitch them up along two sides, leaving one of the skinny sides open to stuff, and then we'll go ahead and sew that onto the body. So that's what I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to do one of them on the camera, and then I am just going to go ahead and finish the other three and attach them so that you guys can see this guy all put together at the end. This is the part where we stuff the limbs. I found that you don't really need much at all. I almost wasn't even going to stuff them, but just based off of the image, I felt like he did need them rounded out a bit. So I did stuff them a little bit, not very much, just like a pinch is really all you're going to need. But I'm just putting it in there, getting it shaped up a little bit, using anything that I can find on my desk to try and help me get that in there. Knitting needles, scissors, whatever it works. But once you get that in there, then we're just going to go ahead and close this up and stitch it onto the side. Okay, and he is all done. Well, the body at least. So I have his arms and legs stitched on. There he is on the back. Really cute. I like him. I like the little garter stitch look on him as well. So next step is the little bow tie. And this is pretty simple. We're just going to take that little rectangular piece of felt, and it says to fold it in like accordion style into the shape of an M. So just like that. And in the middle, we're going to take some scrap yarn and just wrap it around a bunch of times. I don't even know how many times I wrapped it around, but so it's nice and secure. That's basically what you want. And I just went ahead and tied it off. You can't see me do it. I do it off camera here, but I tied it off into a knot in the back. And then I just went ahead and stitched it right onto the neck. I think I have it on the video, so you'll see, but I actually pulled it all the way through the back of his neck so that it comes out of the back of the doll and back again through the front to really make sure it stayed on tight and snug. And I think it worked really well because it really wasn't moving, and that's kind of what I was going for. I didn't want it to be loosey-goosey and like flopping around or anything, so that really worked well for me. Okay, so just centering it right now, and now you'll see what I meant when I said I just kind of poked it all the way through. So in all the way through the back. And again, this is where that garter stitch really comes in handy, because you're not going to notice this in the back. You're not going to really see it. It might pull a little, but you can adjust it so that it's really not noticeable. So I just pulled it back again through the front all the way. Back again. And back out through the back. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and secure the knot so that you can't see any of that, and his bow tie is on. Okay, so next step is obviously going to be the most fun part, putting on the stickers. So up at the top, it tells us about braiding a little piece for the little hanger. I'm going to do that at the end because I really want to do stickers. So we're going to go ahead and put the stickers on. So pull out your little felt piece, and you want to be a little careful with these so that you don't rip them. They are really in there. So you're just going to have to, I would say just pop them all out first and then worry about the sticker on the back. But that being said, as far as stickers are concerned, I found these to be really adhesive. So it does mention that you could definitely embroider these on to make sure that they stay. And longevity wise, I'm not sure if they would stay, over the years. However, they do stay really well. I was surprised at how adhesive they really were. So if you wanted to, you could stitch these on with a needle and thread, or you could even use a hot glue gun or some, just glue if you have it, just to make sure they're really on there. But honestly, I was impressed with how sticky these were. I have used some, self-adhesive felt stickers in the past that really didn't stick that well. These are not like that. So, but we have the 3 little circles. 1 goes on his bow tie, 2 on his belly. Then we'll have the eyes and the smile, and that's all we really need to put his little personality together. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the eyes. And this is the part where you will see that my gauge did not add up to what the kit had in mind. So mine was a little bit smaller. I'm not worried about it. I still think he was really cute, but his eyes look huge compared to the image. But you'll see. So there I go. I have the first one on, and I'm noticing, oh wow, these are really big on him. Get the second one on there. Looking good. They're really stuck. They stick really well. I'm happy with them. So you can see he has some really big, cute cartoon eyes, not as small as in the picture, but I still like him all the same. I'm snipping off just the very corners of the mouth, and that was just because, well, A, his head's a lot smaller, but B, I wanted it to be a little bit more cartoony and rounded. I thought the pointy ends looked a little scary, so that's all I was doing there, just snipping those ends off and placing that right in the middle, just like that. And let's see, there he is, looking so cute. Yeah, his head's a little smaller, but I still think he's adorable. So that is the full project. I have finished him up. I really like him. I thought he was really cute, and I really thought that the kit was a lot of fun. So my end thoughts on this kit are that, is it worth $5? Yes, I think so. Especially if you are maybe getting this for somebody who would like to start trying to knit. This is a really great project because you're not just making a scarf or a washcloth. You are actually making a thing. And I think that could be really motivating, especially to a beginner. Really gives them that confidence to know that they can make something. I thought the instructions were really clear. There's a lot of options for help as far as the written and video instructions. The materials were really good. I didn't have any trouble with the materials. I liked them. I really like these short little knitting sticks. I'd like to see if I could find a pair like this, maybe in a wooden pair of them. I like them a lot in that size. They were easy to work with. But overall, I really felt like this was a fun project, a fun little kit. I would definitely get more of these. I probably will in the future. But as far as a little knit kit, crochet kit is concerned, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. I definitely thought it was worth the money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it answered any questions you might have on these low price little kits from Five Below. But until the next one, I hope you guys are having lots of fun getting ready for the holidays, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!